Novelty. It's powerful, refreshing, and it's the key to making your college essay demand admission. I'm Kevin from the Elevated School, Yale grad, amateur breakdancer, and pro college counselor. In today's video, I'll be sharing 4 techniques to make your story so novel it will genuinely improve the quality of your storytelling by 300%. For years, I've been using these very same techniques to help hundreds of seniors all across the world get into their dream school. Whether you're trying to get into Harvard or Yale, or maybe you're just trying to tell a cool story to get your crush to like you back. I promise that these tips are guaranteed to maintain your audience's attention from start to finish. Be sure to stick around until the end though, because those last 2 techniques are by far the most important. But first though, let's talk about why novelty even works. Over the last 10 years, there have been dozens of studies showing that when your story is different or fresh or unique, it literally releases dopamine. This means that if your story is novel, it will literally trigger a chemical reaction in the reader's brain to make the story unforgettable. Adding elements of novelty and surprise are also scientifically proven to make your story easier to recall. The term flashbulb memory refers to the fact that emotional events are often remembered far more vividly than simply neutral ones. Now, let's talk about how to actually accomplish this, beginning with novel topics. Instead of just writing about a sports injury or big performance, what if you told a story about building an igloo in the Arctic or studying sharks for 3 weeks in the Pacific? By the way, those are real essays from students that we've worked with in the past. Here's some other more relatable examples. One of our students who got into Yale this past year spent his entire winter break experimenting with making 20 different kinds of protein bars in his kitchen. Another one of my students noticed that in her San Francisco neighborhood, the rich libraries had these dispensers for feminine hygiene products, but poor libraries didn't. So now she's making her own dispenser and installing it in a bunch of bathrooms. In fact, if you're watching this as a freshman or sophomore, whether you're in high school or college, your goal should be to do cool stuff so that you end up with cool stories to write about. Technique number 2, novel themes. Pause, I know what you're thinking. Kev, I haven't wrestled with sharks, colonized Neptune, or learned to speak 30 different dialects yet. That's okay. Even if you don't have a novel topic, you can still make it surprising and compelling by telling it in a unique way. How? Well, by leveraging a novel theme or motif. For example, one of our students this past cycle decided to write her personal statement about a pretty cliche topic, teaching robotics to underprivileged kids at a temporary housing shelter. So what did she do to stand out? She added a twist. She did not focus on the students who instantly fell in love with engineering. No, instead, she focused on the students who wanted to sulk in the corner and pick their nose and complain the whole time during the workshop. Why? Because her novel approach was incorporating a theme of flips, both emotionally and intellectually. She described how she flipped the mindsets of those uninterested students, turning them into eager engineers by the end of the night. Even more importantly, she explained how her own perspective flipped when she got to see the extent of her impact. Let's take a look at this touching ending about how she hopes to flip society's mindset as she continues to expand STEM education. I want to flip the narrative that robots are elements of some distant future. Robots are present and impactful in our society, from the robotic servers zipping through K-barbecue restaurants to the rehab devices humming in labs. By flipping society's perspective on robotics, I also hope to flip the idea of who can be an engineer. To me, an engineer looks like Carlos with his quiet curiosity, Mark with his energetic competitiveness, and even Samantha with her, well, let's just say, fierce confidence. Stay tuned, we're gonna get to Samantha in just a few minutes. Now, I did pretty much the same thing in my own Common App essay. It was a story about yours truly, Kevin, working in a Chinese restaurant as a second-generation immigrant. Not exactly the most ground-blowing or mind-breaking story out there. But what makes the story work is its realism combined with subversion. You'd expect me to just put my head down and grind like a classic immigrant kid, but no. Instead, I admit vulnerability. I explain how many burns that I suffered from the fryer, how I actually just hated the experience, and how uncomfortable I felt when my uncle kept comparing my wok skills to my cousins. I add, a dash of novelty by explaining this wasn't about frying rice at all. It was a rite of passage. My father feels ashamed that he had to ask for my help, but at the same time, he felt proud that I didn't complain a single time. And honestly, I still do too. Yes, the story is about hard work, which honestly pretty much every college essay is about hard work. But that's why it's so important to add a new twist, a new theme. In my case, I talked about humility, discipline, sacrifice, pride, shame. The writing style, dare I say, is also quite novel and unique, so if you want to check out that essay, it's over here. or here. By the way, guys, if you're finding these techniques helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us share more of this free educational content to magnificent students just like yourself. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Number 3, novel hooks. This is by far the most important part of the video. So stay with me, fellas. Seriously though, there's a ton of nuance here. Why are hooks so important? Well, because I've heard of cases where AOs, admission officers, literally toss out an application just because the hooks suck. Can you imagine spending 10+ hours on your essays, only for it to be glossed over and dismissed just because the first 2 sentences were bad? Don't worry, I've got you covered. We're not gonna let that happen to you. The first type of hook that we recommend, super simple, super effective, is what we call the problem hook. Adapalene, clascoterone, isotretinoin, and minocycline. That's how one of our students started her supplemental essay in response to this prompt. She starts by listing the acne medications she's tried, then elaborates on the horrible side effects she endured as a result. By starting with these complex terms, she introduces the problem of her essay while also adding mystery and intrigue. We're curious, we absolutely want to read on. We want to know what the student is talking about and why she's talking about it. Here's another example. In the famous Costco essay, which got this student into 5 Ivy League schools, by the way, Brittany Stinson opens with, "Managing to break free from my mother's grasp, I charged." Her first scene is literally brimming with energy. This one sentence generates speed and momentum, which perfectly matches the content, right? You can picture this toddler scurrying, running through the aisles of Costco. Another incredibly effective hook is the question hook. In his book, The Souls of Black Folk, Dubois opens with this absolute banger. How does it feel to be a problem? Whoa. Instantly, we as readers were forced to come up with an answer. We're not just thinking of a response, we're also wondering who would ask such a question and why. The purpose of your hook is to make your reader excited, hungry, pumped to read the rest of your story. In this scenario, Dubois uses a question that's so thought-provoking, we're literally forced to read the next line. And finally, the third type of hook, which I see students use all the time, works like a charm, is the dialogue hook. Let's return to the robotics student from earlier. She opened her story with one of the greatest lines that I've ever seen. And I've read over 1,000 essays, by the way. What's a Ching Chong doing here? Samantha. Let's be real, who wouldn't want to read on? My student told me that everyone who read her essay had a visceral emotional reaction to that very first sentence. Some laughed, some were shocked, but everyone wanted to read on to know more. Why else is this hook so sensational? Well, because it's a combo of the question, problem, and dialogue hook all merged into one. The quote presents a question and a source of potential conflict. In 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 short words, we've managed to produce dialogue, conflict, mystery, novelty, and emotion. Again, if you can get the admissions officer to laugh and smile at your essay, then they're literally hardwired to remember it. Ay, so many students get this wrong. It's probably the most common mistake that I see year after year. Boring conclusions riddled with so many cliches that your brain just kind of ends up tuning out the rest of the essay. You, my friend, will not be one of those students. Here are my 3 final tips to make your ending the strongest part of your story. Tip 4A, the humble brag. I use this in my own Common App essay, and honestly, the humble brag is exactly what it sounds like, conveying your hard work and impact in a way that's touching rather than arrogant. And the easiest way to do this is to actually have someone else compliment you rather than having you compliment you. Here's the ending to my own Common App about working in my parents' Chinese restaurant. 3 weeks later, as we're driving home at midnight after a particularly busy Saturday night, my father turns off the radio. He turns to me, coughs, and says, "At first I didn't think you could do it. But then you showed up every day, woke up every morning, and came with me to the restaurant. You worked in the kitchen, you put in the hours, and never once did you ever say you were tired." He leans over the passenger seat, embracing me in a rare hug. "I'm so proud of you, son," he says, "and I want you to know that I love you." When I looked at my admissions file, the admissions reader actually said that this was one of the best parts. So endings do matter, guys. They can really make or break your story and application. Tip 4B, whatever you want to call it. End your story on an inspirational, hopeful, wistful note. Something future focused, as opposed to merely reflecting or dwelling on the past. For this disagreement essay, one of my students wrote about whether the ending of La La Land was a happy or sad one. Her friend saw the ending as a tragedy of right person, wrong time. But she said that La La Land's ending inspired her to find love in all aspects of life, not just romance, you know? Her final sentences were, "Maybe I'll live out my own rom-com one day, but for now, I have more than enough to smile about." Who needs Sebastian anyways? Not bad. Pretty cute, right? And now, my final tip. Did you know that the easiest way to prevent a cliche is by simply addressing it? Check out this conclusion. It's not perfect, but it's still incredibly strong. This student got into Yale, by the way, and again, he chose a pretty cliche topic, music and volunteering. For the first 15 years of my life, I played the violin for myself. My violin was an emotional outlet, a tool for self-reflection, proof of my personal growth. But playing my violin at the hospital has radically changed my perspective on art. In the last 2 years, I've learned that music can be medicine, music can move. Being a volunteer musician has taught me what it takes to heal, what it means to give, and even what it means to live. While there were moments of intense loss and grief, I'll always be grateful for the opportunity to serve as a provider, caregiver, and leader. It's what I'm most proud of and what I hope to continue in college and beyond. What's happening here? Why exactly does this work? Here, the student addresses the cliche by saying, my violin was an emotional outlet. But in the next sentence, he says, well, at least that's what I used to think. Today, music is so much more. It's a way for me to heal, to give, and to live. That line, that's the real chef's kiss. By the way, guys, feel free to steal from this structure. When you write your conclusion for anything, you can use the same template. For the first whatever years of my life, I did X. My X was a blank, blank, and blank. Recently, though, I've discovered that my perspective has shifted. The last summer taught me that X is a symbol of blank, blank, and blank. The formula, the recipe, it's right there for the taking. Truly, there's no need to reinvent the wheel. I'm not saying you should plagiarize, but if you're starting from zero, this could be an easy, simple way to get started. Finally, if you guys want personal, professional feedback on your college essays, visit www.elevated.school/edit-my-essay. You can even use this code, YouTube15, to get 15% off your first edit. Don't forget to check out this playlist where we talk about how to answer every single supplemental essay question, as well as this playlist where I cover how to get into pretty much any college. And hey, if you have any novel ideas for new videos, let me know in the comment section below. I read every single one. Until next time, my dear virtual little sibling, peace.